you didn't really have such a harsh distinction between the shadows and the highlights. And if all of it was somehow maybe like different shades of color, that would have improved it for me.
Image received a 21. Judges, you have two images to review for placement, starting with In the Woods and going back 1 to Sunflower Core. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Sunflower Core. Scores? 1, 1, 1. The judges have chosen Sunflower Core. We'll keep with these judges as we go to Advanced Color Animal and Pets. Outstanding in his field. Scores? 7, 8, 7.
I gave it a 7. I mean, I like the horse, like the lighting on the horse. I think you just needed to crop it differently, to crop off the bottom half because the flowers are too out of focus and your eye keeps focusing on there, and cropped it right above that, and it would have improved this image.
The image received a 22. Same judges, same category. A colorful Anna's hummingbird. Scores? 9, 8, 9.
Well, I gave it a 9. I think this has a lot of impact and it's beautiful. So I love how you filled the frame here. So we don't have a lot of distracting elements outside the bird. It's sharp. The colors are nice. The pose of the bird is really nice. I don't know how you could improve it. I think it's just really well done.
The image received a 26. Judges, you have two images to review for placement, starting with a colorful Anna's hummingbird and going back 1 to outstanding in his field. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for outstanding in his field. Scores? 2, 2, 2. So the judges have chosen colorful Anna's hummingbird. Judges 1, 4, and 5, please. We are moving to Advanced Color Commercial. Papa's Hot Sauce. Scores? 8, 8, 8.
I think it's a nice image. We've got the people, we've got the hot sauces. You caught the sign down below, which is very good. The lettering on the larger thing with the pricing is off a little bit, but that's fine. I like the fact that you had them each holding one of the hot sauce things. So, well, good job.
Image received a 24 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for intermediate monochrome creative, Coyote at Night. Scores? 888.
I really
Well,
like this image.
Right.
Go ahead, Ed. Go ahead.
I mean, the image is really interesting. There's a lot of to look at here. I like the detail of all the branches and everything in the sky. I wish the coyote wasn't centered. And I'm assuming that the graininess of it's because it was taken at night at very high shutter speed. Um, but mostly, I think that if it was cropped in a little bit, maybe just off of the right side, so that the coyote wasn't quite centered, it would have helped the image.
Image received a 24 was on the only image in the category. Same judges, please. We're going to go to advanced color creative. Ivy Isabella. Scores? 999.
I think that's absolutely beautiful of that little girl. I love even her expression on her face. I mean, I don't even know if it's creative enough to being creative. I mean, you got the background and circle around her face, but it's very dynamic with her bright blue eyes, and I think that's very well done.
Image received is 27. Same judges, same category. Swaro. Scores? 887.
I think it's a really nice picture of a painted with light saguaro. I'm just not real sure there's enough creative in it to make it creative in the creative category. Um, and it's dead centered, and there's just not, other than it's just a saguaro just there. It needs a little bit more punch to go with it, but a nice saguaro.
The image received a 23. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with the Swaro and going back 1 to Ivy Isabella. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Ivy Isabella. Scores? 111. So the judges have chosen Ivy Isabella. Judges 2, 4, and 5, please. We're in Master Color Creative, Blue Dreams. Scores? 898.
I scored at the 9. I love this image. I don't know why, I just love it. That little touch of yellow from the flower. I can see this image hanging in anyone's home, in anyone's office, in a dental office, anywhere. It's just universal. And it just has a nice feeling to it.
Image received a 25 was the only image in the category. Same judges, please. We are moving into the category of documentary, and we will start with a beginner monochrome documentary, Notre Dame Under Construction, April 2024.
Who are the judges?
Same judges, 2, 4, and 5. Scores? 899.
I really like this image. I was looking if I can find absolutely anything wrong with it at all. I guess maybe the clouds could be just a tad darker. The contrast could have been bumped just a twitch. But you got blacks in there and you got whites in there. So I think it's really close to the way it should be. You don't have anything extra in there. There's no extra material that should have been cropped out. You don't have any crowding on any of the cranes. I think as a documentary in it that's documenting without embellishment, this is an excellent example of that.
Image received a 26 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for intermediate color documentary, Nature's Course. Scores? 777.
So I'm assuming from the title, you're talking about the nature's course of a live tree and then a dead tree. And so it's interesting. I mean, the tree is interesting. You got some decent clouds in there. I'm just not sure that as a documentary, it really is strong enough to tell that story. And so it's a good picture, maybe not quite as strong of a documentary type of an image.
Image received a 21. Same category, same judges. F15, Afterburner Ascent.
Linda, is this advanced or intermediate?
This is intermediate, Ed.
Thank you.
Scores? 888.
I like that you chose to put this image on a diagonal. It really helps the image a lot. You've got the afterburners going and you got the little spots going back out of them. That's really cool. The problem is the front half of the plane isn't quite super sharp. I can't read the numbers that are listed on there. It's really, really, really close. It's just one tick away from being super sharp.
And
Image-
I'll just add to that. Ed's exactly right. It's not quite sharp enough, but you could fix that. You could just run it through some, software that sharpens the image, and I think it would fix that. It's not
close.
It's not totally out of focus. It's just with some sharpening software, it would look much better.
Image received a 24. Pave Hawk over Sky Canyon. Scores? 999.
I love this image. I mean, with the people in it really makes it. And just having the movement and the propellers. I mean, great catch.
Image received a 27. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement, starting with the Pave Hawk over Sky Canyon, going back 1 to F15 Afterburner Ascent, and going back 1 to Nature's Course. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for Nature's Course. Scores? 333. F15 Afterburners. Scores? 222, which means our helicopter over Sky Canyon got the 111. Judges 1, 2, and 4, please. We're into advanced color documentary, Untitled. Scores 888.
So I'll just try this one. I think the strength of this image is the composition of, I like that. I like the tree, this old tree with the trunk. You can tell that's many, many years old. And you got this texture of the cabin behind it. That's really nice. And the colors are nice. To me, it's an old building and the tree's old and the bench is not. And so I think I'd like to be looking at it maybe with more of the door in it and the tree, but not less of that bench. And that's kind of a petty thing, but the bench kind of doesn't fit the oldness of the rest of it.
Image received a 24. Same judges, same category. Axe, notch, chainsaw, ponderosa coming down. Scores 987.
Well, I'm the 9. I think the shot of the work that's being done, you've got the notch out, you've got the chainsaw going, you've got a little bit of background. It's going to be an interesting dropping of that tree. But I think in general, the composition is very good.
One of our other two, since we had a good spread, want to speak to it?
I was the 7. I guess it just didn't have an impact for me. I mean, it shows him sawing, but I just think there's different angles or different ways you could have documented that would have made it more interesting.
Image received a 24. Judges, we have 2 images to review for placement, starting with axe, notch, chainsaw, and going back 1 to Untitled. Judges, a 1 or 2, please, for Untitled. Scores 2-1. So the judges have chosen axe, notch, chainsaw. Judges 2, 3, and 4, please. We're in advanced monochrome documentary. You were my favorite hello and my hardest goodbye. Scores 888.
I really love your title on this. I don't know about the positioning. I mean, I would have kind of liked to have his paws in your hands and your eyes connecting. I don't know, something more connected feeling.
Image received a 24 was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for master color documentary, Shrimp Eyes. Scores? 889.
I like this image. It's like the weirdest alien thing I've ever seen. And to say those are shrimp eyes, I would never know that was a shrimp. And I just think it's an intriguing image. And with the purplish mauve color for the eyes and the blues, really makes it dynamic also.
Image received a 25. It was the only image in the category. Judges 3, 4, and 5, please, for master monochrome documentary, Yellowstone Winter. Scores? 898.
I like the positioning, the composition of the image with the buffalo off to the side with room to move. The starkness, the absolute starkness of the image is incredible. I didn't give it a 9 because I didn't find that there was enough detail in the fur and in the face of the buffalo. Um, I just don't think it's quite. It's almost there. It's just not quite super sharp enough in that area. Um, Also, I'm missing the breath of the buffalo. He looks like a statue almost. But he's not because he's got tracks where he's walking. I mean, I understand that. It's just I didn't mark it down because of that, but it just seems that there should be breath there, and there should be more detail in the face of the animal.
Image received a 25 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please. We are into the category of nature wildlife. We will start with beginner color nature wildlife. I see my lunch. Scores? 889.
Um, I gave it a 9. I really think this is a great beginner image. Um, the it's maybe a little bright on the land or stump or rock or bread or ground, whatever that is he's standing on there. The background is maybe a little distracting because it's a little highlights over his back, but the bird itself is spectacularly well lit and extremely in focus. I can see all the different feathers. I can see the eye very clearly. I think this is an excellent beginner image.
Image received a 25 and was the only image in the category. Judges 1, 3, and 5, please, for advanced color nature wildlife, young elephant seal. Scores? 888.
I think the seal is actually very much in focus and very well lit, especially the eye is very impressive. In my opinion, it would have done better if some of the top was actually cropped off, which is like very quite bright and takes the eye away from the animal.
Image received a 24. Acacia Pride Cubs. Scores? 999.
It's a remarkably well composed image, odd number of animals all looking straight. The eyes are sharp and bright, and the background doesn't really conflict with the subject. So very, very good image.
Image received a 27. Floating. Scores? 998.
The eyes and the face and the reflection are spectacular. I marked it down just a little bit because I think the tips of the wings are starting. I don't know if it was blown up too much. It's not that they're out of focus. There seems to be that the image is falling apart a little bit.
Image received a 26. Face of a resting bottlefly. Scores? 889.
So if I just look at the face, I think it's actually very sharp and very pleasing. But some of the other forward elements, like the top leg, which is in the picture but out of focus, and if that was in focus, I would score it high.
Image received a 25. Soaring. Scores? 788.
I think from my point of view, the bird is actually, the eyes and the face are very well focused. But I was looking for a bit more context in the image, rather. If it had more context, where is the bird coming and going, that might make it stronger for me.
Image received a 23. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement. Going back 1 to face of a resting bottlefly, going back 1 to floating, and going back 1 to Acacia Pride Cubs. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for Acacia Pride Cubs. Scores 112. Floating scores 233. And face of a resting bottlefly scores 321. So the judges have chosen Acacia Pride Cubs for first. In second, they chose Face of a Resting Bottlefly, and Floating is third. Okay, judges 1, 2, and 4, please. For Master Color Nature Wildlife, Pelican Rock. Scores 889.
So I like the image itself. The impact, of course, is all of these pelicans there on the beach, and you get some reflections, which is nice. You got more rock in the background there, and I think that's all good. I think you could crop a little bit of the bottom off here, maybe closer to the reflection, make it more slimline, but it's a very powerful image. It's good.
Image received a 25. Marmots, left and right. Scores 777.
I like seeing the marmots. I think that's good. I like the one on the left who's kind of keeping watch. The others are watching that one, who's watching it. But the extra trees in the background just don't add enough to the image.
Image received a 21. Happiness. Scores 988.
Well, I love the seals here. I think the impact of them is their action with each other, and they're sharp. You got the eyes on both eyes on one and one eye on the other. That's great. I think you again could crop a little off the top and a little off the left, just zoom right in on the action here, which is their faces, and the bright spot in the back top doesn't need to be there.
Image received a 25. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement, starting with happiness. 1 to marmots, left and right, and going back 1 to Pelican Rock. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for Pelican Rock. Scores 1, 2, 1. Marmots, left and right. Scores 3, 3, 3. And happiness. Scores 2-1-2. So the judges have chosen Pelican Rock. Judges 3, 4, and 5, please. We're moving into the people category. And we first have entries in intermediate monochrome people, Cowboy and his partner. Scores 8-9-9.
For intermediate category, I think you did a great job. I love the positioning of the cowboy, like his look, you know, even his hand position, holding the reins.
I'm gonna revise mine. I was on the edge. So if you can.
I can do that.
Okay.
So we now have a 9-9-9. The image received a 27 was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for advanced color people. Untitled. Scores 8-8-8.
This is obviously a lovely picture. It's a lovely picture of the model and of the horse. I just marked it down a little bit. I would debate between 8 and 9, and I just don't know if the people is the most important part of the image, and that's the only reason I marked it down just a little bit.
Image received a 24. Master Shipwright, Mystic Seaport. Scores 8-8-8.
I think it's a great image of the gentleman very intently working on his piece, and his is very much in focus, and the tone of the image and the texture of the gentleman. I think it's very pleasing.
Image received a 24. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with the Master Shipwright and going back 1 to Untitled. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Untitled. Scores 2-1-1. So the judges have chosen Untitled. Judges 1, 3, and 4, please, for advanced monochrome people, Macy and Adam. Scores 888.
I like the pose and the emotion in the image. From my standpoint here, I think the image is a bit too bright. And if I could actually see the expression on their faces a bit better, rather than being blocked, it would make it perfect for me.
The image received a 24 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for master color people, skateboarders on parade. Scores? 888.
I like the image of the skateboarders. They're sharp, got some good expressions and such. The extra people in the background, maybe depth of field could have helped remove some of those or reduce them. And the upper left white with the stuff sticking out from the building also subtracts a little bit. I like the kid in the yellow top, whatever he's doing. He's kind of cute. And the lake's good tilt, the kid with his tongue out. Some really good action shots. The background kind of takes it away.
Image received a 24 was the only image in the category. Same judges, please. We are to photojournalism. In beginner color photojournalism, over tourism in Florence.
Can you repeat the title again?
In Florence. Scores? 778.
Well, I think it tells the story. It's definitely overcrowded. Wouldn't want to be touring with all those people there. And, you did what you set out to do. You captured it being over tourist.
Image received a 23 and was the only image in the category. Same judges for intermediate color photojournalism. Niels Pollitt time trial. Scores? 999.
This is a great image. I've never been able to pan that well. I love the expression on his face. Everything about this image is nice. Your positioning, you don't have him centered. And it's just a really intriguing image to look at.
Image received a 27 was the only image in the category. Judges 2, 3, and 4, please, for advanced color photojournalism. It's a hit. Scores? 988.
So I'm the 9 here, and I gave it a 9 because the ball's coming off the bat. That is so hard to do. But you got all the action here. You got the batter fully swinging here. You got the catcher, right there for the catch if you missed it, and the umpires bent over. It's always hard in these. The background's always a little distracting, but you got these guys all in focus and the background's blurred. So I think it's really well done.
Image received a 25. Model posing lesson.
Mm.
Scores? 888.
Definitely telling a story here. Trying to do a model shoot, and somebody's helping her pose right. So I think that is the impact of it, is the story itself.
Image received a 24. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with model posing lesson and going back 1 to It's a Hit. Judges, a 1 or 2, please, for It's a Hit. Scores? 1, 1, 1. So the judges have chosen It's a Hit. Judges 1, 2, and 5, please, for Master Color Photojournalism, UNLV Run. Scores? 888.
Well, this is obviously a really nice image. I like number 48, number 10 are concentrating on what they're doing. I like number 38, not concentrating enough to what he's doing. The 2 little minor, very minor improvements. I would have cropped a twitch off of the right-hand side so that that hand disappeared. And there's nothing you could have done about it, but I wish that the face was just a tad sharper of 21.
Image received a 24. MX. Scores? 888.
So I love the story here. Got one rider going right close to you. You got just 2 guys flying through the air in the background. So that's a great story. I think it would have been a 9. The 2 guys flying through there are really sharp. The guy closest here going to the right is not quite as sharp.
Image received a 24. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with MX and going back 1 to UNLV Run. Judges, a 1 or 2, please, for UNLV Run. Scores? 1, 1, 1. So the judges have chosen UNLV Run. Same judges, please. We are starting pictorial, and we will begin with beginner color pictorial, Sunrise at the Park. Scores? 9, 7, 8.
I was the 7. It's a beautiful picture. It's just not enough. There has to be something more interesting than just the sunrise in the park.
Image received a 24 was the only image in the category. Judges 1, 4, and 5, please. Intermediate color pictorial. Flaming Gorge. Scores? 8, 9, 7.
I gave it the 9 only because it's intermediate, so I thought you did a great job. The lighting is beautiful. I mean, you're gonna have to learn how to spot your images. You got little dark spots in the sky that are easy to get rid of. Could have maybe cropped out that tree, on the left, but otherwise I think it's a wonderful image.
Image received a 24. Fireman's view of Cascade Trestle, Cumbres, and Toltec Scenic Railroad. Scores? 8, 7, 7.
I really like the fireman's view. The right half of the image, the engine itself, the detail in the brass and in the wrought iron, the detail in the tracks and the train. The problem is all the people in the other train up ahead just completely, I don't understand why they're there, and that's what lowered the score.
Image received a 22. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with the fireman's view and going back 1 to Flaming Gorge. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Flaming Gorge. Scores? 1, 1, 2. So the judges have chosen Flaming Gorge. Judges, same judges, please, for intermediate monochrome pictorial, Harpa Cultural Center, Iceland. Scores? 8, 9, 9.
Yeah, I scored it a 9. The only reason I thought about scoring it down is I was jealous. But it's a pretty image. It's really nice.
Image received a 26 and was the only image in the category. Judges 2, 4, and 5, please, for advanced color pictorial, White Sands National Park. Scores? 8, 8, 8.
We have beautiful white sand. We have wonderful texture in the sand. We even have a reasonably nice sky. It just needs something more to gather your attention.
Image received a 24. Fishing at Spring Valley State Park.
pictorial.
This is pictorial, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Scores? 878.
So this is a nice image. Got a pretty sky, got nice composition, it's sharp, nice lighting. It's not super interesting, but it is a nice image.
Image received a 23. Fenced in. Scores? 877.
We have some nice contrasts. We've got some wonderful wood grain going on here. We got some angles and lines that are nice. It just none of it is get coherent with the other parts of the image.
Image received a 22. After the rain. Scores? 789.
I'll say something, then 9 can say something, but the 7, I think you have a beautiful location here. I just think the river running through it, the red cliffs in the background, overhanging trees, I think that's all great. I just think that the brightness is overpowering here. I just think there's too much brightness.
Yeah, the location is so beautiful. I think Alan is right. The center of the image is just a little too bright, but the overall feeling and peaceful feeling that it gave me moved me, I guess.
Image received a 24. Pacific Shore. Scores? 898.
I gave it a 9. I love the motion of the water, your slow shutter speed. I mean, I was debating between 8 and 9 because I don't think you need the upper half cut off part of that to get closer to the waves that are breaking. And I just like the feel of the water flowing over the rocks and the out of focus waves. It just has a nice feeling to it.
Image received a 25. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement, starting with Pacific Shore, going back 1 to After the Rain, and going back 3 to White Sands National Park. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3 for White Sands National Park. Scores? 2, 2, 3. After the Rain. Scores? 3, 3, 1. And Pacific Shore. Scores? 1, 1, 2. So the judges have chosen Pacific Shore for the first place, and we have a tie for second place between White Sands and After the Rain. So judges, a 1 or a 2 for After the Rain. Scores 1, 2, 2. So the judges have chosen White Sands for second place. Judges 1, 3, and no, 1, 4, and 5, please. For Master Color Pictorial, Rebuilt Fort. Scores 8, 8, 7.
I
Um,
like,
go
I
ahead.
like, go ahead.
No, tell me how much you like it.
I like it. I like the composition. I really do. I just wish it was taken, with a different lighting situation, sunset or sunrise, because otherwise I enjoy the image.
I love the composition. I think the composition is great. The clouds are wonderful. You got there in such a wonderful day. The building is too bright, but we're in master, and there is a water spot on the lens of this camera or something about in the middle of that tree on the upper part of it, and then about the middle of the trunk part of it as well. And those are the kind of little things that in master we really just shouldn't see.
Image received a 23. A bridge on the River Danube. Scores 9, 9, 9.
It's a very beautiful image. I mean, the colors of the buildings are what really brings it out. You had a nice day with nice clouds, and it's a really, really nice image.
A phenomenal reflection image.
Mhm.
And then you got the ripples that make everything look painterly on the bottom half, and yet the top half is tack sharp. It's really exceptional.
Image received a 27. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with a bridge on Danube River and going back 1 to Rebuilt Fort. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Rebuilt Fort. Scores 2, 2, 2. So the judges have chosen the Danube River. Same judges, please, for Advanced Color Portraiture. Bella. Scores 8, 8, 9.
Yeah, I wasn't real sure. I liked her leaning up against the wall. But I think that's more personal taste. Everything else is really nice. We have really nice lighting. We have really nice clarity in the eyes and in the hair. So I went ahead and gave it a nice score.
Image received a 25. Was the only image in the category. Judges 2, 3, and 4, please. For advanced color still life, life finds a way. Judges 2, 3, and 4, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thought you looked like maybe you weren't doing that. Scores, please. 7, 8, 7.
I like your title that you gave this image. I mean, I like the position of the plants. I just think you could have done a slim line because the upper part is just too bright. It competes too much in the image.
So I agree with that. And I scored at 8 while I was hanging between the 7 and 8 because I think the idea that you found was actually quite interesting. And if the upper part of the image was like maybe more streamlined and not as bright so that you could focus on the plant itself, that would actually make it stronger. So
Image received a 23. Wild geranium.
Is this advanced?
Yes. Scores? 7, 7, 7.
Yeah, I think we all agree. It's just not sharp enough in the advanced category, and it should be cropped. This would work perfectly in a square crop. And get those more, centered into the image. You don't need all the extraneous leaves in the background, but it definitely needs to be sharp.
Image.
may
Go
I add
ahead.
something? I think could have been a lot of stuff that you could have done gardening it while you're actually there. Because if it is still life is arrangement of the subjects, I mean, the one dead bud could have easily been removed at the time of taking the picture. And I think it could be a composition, but in my preference, the flower that is drooping could have been removed before even taking the picture.
Image received a 21. Hats off to America. Scores? 8, 7, 8.
So definitely a still life. And it's sharp, colors are nice. It's not super interesting, but it is well done with what you did.
Image received a 23. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement, starting with Hats Off to America, going back 1
Linda,
to Wild.
only 2. Only 2.
Okay.
I have a 22, a 21, and a 23.
Correct.
The 21 goes out.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay, 2 to review for placement, starting with Hats Off to America and going back to Life Finds a Way. Judges, oh, please, for Life Finds a Way. Scores? 2, 1, 2. So the judges have chosen Hats Off to America. Judges 2, 3, and 5, please, for Advanced Monochrome Still Life, Falcon Cry. Scores? 8, 8, 8.
So I think you have a real interesting subject here. And you've done a really good job with the exposure, with the lights are not blown out and the darks are still got a little bit of information in them. I just, without your title, I'm not sure I would have known what it is. So that helps. I'm just not sure what else you could do with it, but maybe a different angle. It maybe have to look a little more like a bird.
Image received a 24 and was the only image in the category. Unclassified is our next category. We'll start with judges 1, 3, and 5, please, for Advanced Color Unclassified. Rock of Ages Sentinel.
Repeat the title, please.
Rock of Ages Sentinel. Scores? 9, 8, 8.
This is one of those it's an interesting item. It's in a cavern somewhere. I'm not sure where. Um, the artificial light makes it really, really hard to do. But the way that you've managed to capture this, the artificial light is highlighting the parts that makes it look almost three-dimensional, which is helping the image out quite a bit. I don't really know if there was a lot more you could have done to make it more interesting. It is definitely a creature growing out of a rock, though. It's pretty cool.
Image received a 25. Pollinator. Scores? 9, 9, 9.
Great shot of both the honeybee and the flower. I'm curious if the honeybee is still looking for pollen with all the pollen it already has on its legs. Amazing shot.
Image received a 27. Subtle Beauty. Scores? 988.
I scored it up a bit. This is unclassified. You can put anything you want in here. The I really appreciate the pale color of the dress. It's got just a tad of pink in it, up against that horse, who is immaculately groomed. I mean, that horse is absolutely immaculately groomed. And I think that the subtle shifting colors there and the slight blurriness of the background, I mean, I would like a little more excitement on it, but this is really well done.
Image,
I dropped it a little bit because of the bright lights that are whatever this on the model's face and on her shoulder that detracts from it.
image received a 25. Dangling. Scores? 788.
I found the image to be actually somewhat unique and appealing. I think you could improve it by not being in the dead center. There's a lot of wasted space on the side, and a different type of crop might actually make it a bit more appealing.
Image received a 23. Flying bug. Scores? 888.
We have a great documentary image here with a great title. Interesting, all the dirt flying in the air off to the right. A little room for it to go forward onto the left side of it. Nice image.
Image received a 24. Clear skies, no moon. Scores? 888.
I think the image is very sharp, so that's and I like the composition. I do think that it is a bit too bright. The foreground as well as the Milky Way is a bit too bright, and if it was toned down a little bit, it probably would strengthen the image.
Image received a 24. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement. Going back 3 to subtle beauty. Going back 1 to pollinator. And going back 1 to Rock of Ages Sentinel. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for Rock of Ages Sentinel. Scores? 233. Pollinator. Scores? 111. And Subtle Beauty. Scores? 322. So the judges have chosen Pollinator for first, Subtle Beauty for second, and Rock of Ages Sentinel for third. Judges, 2, 4, and 5, please, for Master Color Unclassified, Heavenly Glow. Scores? 888.
So
I like the texture of it. I like the color. I wish it was cropped in on both sides and the top. We don't need room for the bird to go anywhere because it's not going anywhere.
Image received a 24 and was the only image in the category. We're down to our club challenge for the month, which is patriotic. We will begin with the beginners. Judges 2, 4, and 5, please. Patriotic Taxi Stand, New York City. Scores? 877.
So this is really Americana. I mean, you got the flags and the light post here and the taxi cabs, the tall buildings, the flags on the other side. I was looking for a feeling of patriotic, and I don't get it from this, but it is a good image.
Image received a 22. It was the only image in the category. Judges 1, 3, and 4, please, for intermediate club challenge. Up, up, and away. Scores? 988.
Well, I'll speak. I think it's a beautiful image, got great density. I love how it fits in those clouds. That was a really nice capture. I'm not sure what the blue parts are around the balloon and around the top and a little bit on the side. So that's why I scored it down.
Image received a 25. Our heroes. Scores? 989.
Amazingly created image. You've got the cemetery, you've got the seat where someone could be sitting and watching and remembering, you've got the tree, and then you've got the image of the soldiers, presumably, I'm guessing, not sure if it's Civil War or I'm guessing probably Civil War, just looking at it. Very nice.
Image received a 26. Grassroots. Scores? 778.
I think the image meets the club challenge. where I'm feeling a little challenged is the the front part of the front right part of the people is like two backs of two people. By just stepping a little bit here and there, just if you zeroed in on the boy holding the flag and the a couple of people in front of him, that would make a stronger image.
Image received a 22. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement, starting with grassroots, going back 1 to our heroes, and going back 1 to up, and away. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please. Excuse me, for up, and away. Scores 2, 2, 2. Our heroes scores 1, 1, 1. So the judges have chosen our heroes for first and up, and away for second. In the advanced category, judges 1, 2, and 3, please. Freedom 1. Scores 9, 8, 8.
It's a good picture and it's a good display of the flag colors.
Image received a 25. Iwo Jima Memorial. Scores 9, 8, 7.
I think it's a great picture with the, I think it's at night with the lighting and of course, famous statue there. I don't know if there was any wind or not, but it would have been nice if the flag could have just blown a little more so you had a little more full flag and it kind of curled under here, but great idea.
Image received a 24. Statue of Liberty. Scores 8, 9, 8.
Great shot of the Statue of Liberty itself. I would have liked to have seen a little bit better background. The clouds are kind of lost a little bit there.
Image received a 25. 4th of July parade. Scores 8, 8, 7.
And the low score. I think, yeah, we do have all the components. We have the flags and the flag colored hats, etc. But some of the people in the front of the image, they're kind of not look like they're really participating or doing something else. So they're like the gentleman right in the front is somewhat of a distraction.
Image received a 23. Service remembered. Scores 888.
I think there's a good shot of this, memorial of his service there. And it's well done. I'm not sure the yellow smoke or fog helps it or not. It kind of blends onto the left side of the picture too. But I like the memorial of the service itself.
Image received a 24. Proudly waving. Scores? 888.
I love the flag. I think that's the strength of this image, is that beautiful flowing flag. I think you could bring up the shadows a little bit in this side of the horse and the rider. It's kind of lost and blending together.
Image received a 24. I pledge allegiance. Scores? 777.
I think flag is a necessary component of one of these club challenge pictures. But other than that, there's not much interest. There's not much of a context, so that's why it's scoring a little low.
Image received a 21. Patriotic symbolism. Scores? 998.
This is a well done blended image here. Most patriotic things you could have.
Image received a 26. Heritage Flight, Tucson. Scores? 888.
Very nice image of the 5 aircraft. The flag adds enough to make it part of the competition, but I don't know they necessarily go together that well.
Image received a 24. Celebrating Independence Day. Scores? 777.
It is fireworks, and there is, I think, red, white, and blue in there, but it could be for any holiday they shoot up fireworks, so it doesn't really say patriotism in and of itself.
Image received a 21. Old Glory. Scores? 877.
I think there is a nice flag on the wall, but it just doesn't necessarily evoke patriotism.
Image received a 22. Patriotic tribute. Scores? 878.
I like the houses. You photographed them really well, and they're well done. I think they're interesting, and they have flags out, so that's nice. It's just doesn't give a lot of patriotism other than there's flags out.
Image received a 23. Patriotic mailbox. Scores? 777.
This is more Wizard of Oz and less patriotic, but it's interesting.
Image received a 21. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement. Well
Wow.
done. Starting with patriotic symbolism, that's back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the one. Then back 4 more to the Statue of Liberty. And back 2 to Freedom 1.
Put those again, please.
Sure. There's Freedom 1, Statue of Liberty, and patriotic symbolism. Okay, judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for patriotic symbolism. Scores? 1, 1, 1. For the Statue of Liberty, scores? 2, 2, 3. And Freedom 1, scores? 3, 3, 2. So the judges have chosen patriotic symbolism. For our master category, judges 2, 4, and 5, please. My cousin, the helicopter pilot. Scores? 888.
The title doesn't do anything to help us at all. The concentration of the flag bearers folding the flag. That is just the total of this image, and the care and the love and the patriotism is all right there in the look on their face.
Image receives a 24. Big flag. Scores? 987.
I'm the 7. I just didn't think it screamed enough patriotism. It does look like fun though. Go ahead, Alan.
I love the story here. all these soldiers holding the flag. I wish we could see more of the flag, but I think it's a good story.
Image received a 24. Duty, honor, country. Scores 8, 9, 8.
I love the concept here, the eagle, the flag, the fireworks. I think that all is patriotic. It's just the fireworks to me look a little cartoonish. They're just not look real.
Image received a 25. Standing watch. Scores 9, 8, 9.
I'd give it a 9 because I think it screams patriotism.
I think that's where you really feel it in a picture like this.
Image received a 26. We love a parade. Scores 8, 8, 8.
This is fun. It's just fun.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if it's patriotism or loving of parades. It's fun.
The image received a 24. Judges, you have 5 images to review for placement. You didn't eliminate any of them.
Okay.
Sorry.
Red.
Starting with We Love a Parade. Going back 1
Okay,
to Standing Watch.
do them slowly here.
Going back 1 to Duty, Honor, Country. Going back 1 to Big Flag. And going back 1 to My Cousin, the Helicopter Pilot. You good, or do you need to see him again?
Need to see it again.
One more time.
Okay. My Cousin, the Helicopter Pilot. Big Flag. Duty, Honor, Country. Standing Watch. We Love a Parade.
Got it.
Okay.
Good.
Got it.
Judges 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 for We Love a Parade. Scores 4, 5, 3. Standing Watch. Scores 1, 1, 1. At least you agree on something. Duty, Honor, Country. Scores 535. Big flag. Scores 344. And My Cousin the Helicopter Pilot scores 222. Well, you agreed on two things.
Good.
So for first, you chose Standing Watch. For second, you chose My Cousin the Helicopter Pilot. For third, you chose the Big Flag. So thank you, judges. Thank you, competition staff. Results of the competition will be included in the August issue of Focal Expressions. The competition video will be available on YouTube. So have a good evening. Give Linda our best, Ed. And we'll see you all for our program meeting in a couple of weeks, where we'll also have the slideshow of the entries from the 2024 Annual Open Electronic Image Competition. Night all.
Night.
Night.